Welcome to Daily Variety, your daily dose of news and analysis for entertainment industry insiders. It's Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. I'm your host, Cynthia Littleton. I am co-editor-in-chief of Variety alongside Ramin Satuda. I'm in LA, he's in New York, and Variety has reporters around the world covering the business of entertainment. In today's episode, we'll talk to Leo Barraclough, Variety's international features director, about his sit-down with Mattel Studios president Robbie Brenner on day 2 of Mipcom, the international content market in Cannes, France. Today's episode is entirely Mipcom-tastic. After we hear from Leo, we'll have highlights from Variety's C-Suite Conversation track on Monday. Banijay CEO Marco Bassetti discussed how the French TV and film production conglomerate that he leads has grown by adhering to strong business fundamentals. He's more than happy to admit that he'd much rather make money than win an Oscar or a Golden Lion at Venice. But before we get to all that, here are a few headlines just in this morning that you need to know. This is a whole different kind of Pentagon Papers. The nation's largest news organizations are standing up to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and his troubling efforts to clamp down on traditional news gathering. The Department of Defense has been trying to force journalists to agree to restrictions on reporting in order to maintain their access to the Pentagon compound in Virginia. The joint statement issued Tuesday morning by ABC News, CBS News, CNN, Fox News, and NBC News says, in part, the policy is without precedent and threatens core journalistic protections. We will continue to cover the U.S. military as each of our organizations has done for many decades, upholding the principles of a free and independent press, end quote. Netflix has inked a deal with Spotify to bring a batch of top original podcasts to its platform. The trend of podcast to TV is unmistakable. Just take a look at ESPN's afternoon lineup. One of the very buzzy topics at Mipcom this week is microdramas, or vertical dramas as they're sometimes called. This is content designed to be watched on the iPhone vertically. SAG-AFTRA has jumped on this trend and has unveiled a new contract that it calls a verticals agreement for projects with budgets under $300,000. This is a space to watch. All of these stories and so much more can be found on Variety.com right now. Now it's time for conversations with Variety journalists about news and trends in show business. Here's Leo Barraclough talking about his busy day 2 at Mipcom on another beautiful day here in the south of France. Leo Barraclough, Variety's international features director, thanks so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
Well, you're in the Mipcom press room, which is a good place to be. How was your day 2 of Mipcom?
So my main task this morning was interviewing Robbie Brenner, the president of Mattel Studios, and we looked at the full kind of range of projects that are being developed or are in production. And it's impressive because she comes out of the independent film world and they have faith in her to take their toys and make them into fantastic stories and amazing films and TV series.
She does have that infectious producer's enthusiasm. She was an independent producer, a scrappy independent producer pulling together financing for adult dramas, nothing that was terribly family friendly. But she is always credited, Mattel CEO Croisette, as seeing that she had the skills. Even if nothing in her background said family entertainment, he saw something in her and she really credits that. And she always says she's surprised herself that she took this turn in her career. She obviously absolutely hit it out of the park with Barbie. That's a well-known story now of Greta Gerwig coming in, but it's 2 summers ago now that Barbie lit up the box office. And you can tell that, like all good producers, they recognize that there is a bit of luck and magic and all of that stuff to every big hit. So it was interesting to see her reflect on that with a little bit of distance from Barbie.
Yes, and I mean, she understands, as all producers understand, that you're only as good as your last hit. So there's a lot riding on the next films, including Matchbox, which is going to be an action thriller, and Barney. There's a whole range of films and series coming up.
It's definitely not cookie cutter made for low end video like the Barbie related content used to be.
She says she wants to choose projects that scare her a little bit, that kind of push it to the edge and surprise her.
From my vantage point, the body language was extremely confident, a lot of excitement. What else did you, in your travels, walking around, seeing people, what was your sense of the crowd on day 2?
One thing that comes up time again is that the convergence that we've been speaking about for years, if not decades, is actually real now. People like Banijay, as well as the TV series, are now stepping up their activity in film, but they're also investing in YouTube creators, and they're pushing further into live events. So that diversification is going on everywhere that you look. BBC, ITV, Fremantle talk about it. I mean, Fremantle have this show that was a great success in the Netherlands on YouTube, and they took it and the creators on that show, and they put it on a mainstream streamer in the Netherlands, and they didn't sanitize it. It's quite edgy, and it's brought the audience over from YouTube, and that they think it's great, and but it's a little bit risque, but people have realized that they've got to do it like that.
There's optimism among the Europeans. The European majors are in better financial shape than a lot of their counterparts in the US, and you can just sense that there is a feeling of truly global opportunity and a sense of going for it. And a lot of the Americans that I talk to here are like, wow, there's a lot of optimism. There's a feeling that people are like hoping to also tap into and, maybe bring some of that back with them from Cannes. I found that interesting. Leo, you live and work in the UK. What do you think the mood is?
No, you're right. They're very confident. They've grown to a size that they believe works. So there's been a lot of consolidation, but it's working, it's delivering, and the quality of the shows is quite high, whether it's scripted or unscripted. And so they're finding buyers worldwide, and they're making the ecosystem work for them. So, there's been quite a few deals here, which is a sign that business is good. And I think people think that Europe is a good place to work, and are quite happy to push their careers forward in Europe rather than maybe in the past people have decided to go over to LA. I don't get that feeling anymore.
It's very interesting, and it's, again, why you travel and why you go to a place to really sense it. Also, again, a big Asian footprint. Korea is the country of showcase this year. I went to a content showcase, and boy, was it rapid fire. It was just one right after the other. Boom, boom, boom. The super, super concentrated sales pitch. It was really funny. It actually made me think, put a little Shark Tank in it, and this really could be a television show. But anyway, Leo, thank you for being here and juggling panels and writing stories. That's the way of a market.
I'm very happy to chat to you, and look forward to another day here.
Now we turn to some highlights from the conversation that my colleague Elsa Keslasi and I had at Mipcom on Monday with Marco Bassetti, CEO of Banijay. Bassetti is this year's recipient of the Variety Vanguard Award, which recognizes individuals who have made significant contributions to the global television business. Bassetti worked his way up to the CEO ranks after starting at the bottom of the ladder as a producer in his native Italy. Here he talks about the company's big bet on buying Endemol Shine in October 2019. It could have easily tanked the company. Instead, it positioned Banijay for much growth.
It was the only way to survive in this market. And we were a lot of concern because, as you remember, the integration between Endemol Shine and Core was not so successful. So everybody was looking at us how you could be successful. There are a few reasons why we were successful. First of all, because Stefan is coming from Endemol, like me. I was in charge of Endemol for a few years, so I know quite well the company. But we we strongly believe that if you want to survive in this market, you should have a very strong footprint. You should have a lot of strong IP in order, let's say, not just to be very frank with you, not to be screwed by your client. And to have leverage, it means to retain IP. It means also that you are in control of your IP and you can exploit in a different way your IP, not only in the channel that you are to selling the IP. And that was the decision and the rationale of this acquisition. By the way, at this time, Banijay, we did not have the footprint that we have now. We don't have such a strong distribution that Endemol has at this time. We don't have the scripted business, and we saw that the scripted business with streamer was start to growing. So for us, was a perfect match.
But speaking of your M&A strategy, do you feel now that you achieved the scale that you want, or are you still looking for opportunities?
Let's elaborate it a little bit. Yes, I think that we have the scale in our business that we should have. I don't think that geographically speaking, we need to have other territory. Maybe we need, let's say, to improve in some genera in territory that maybe we are not so strong as should be. Until 2022, a bit of 23, we did a lot of, after random, a lot of small acquisition in GE, that let's say to feed our machine and to have everything we need so we can give to our client and to our commissioner what they're asking for. Today, just a pure M&A market buying small company, I don't think that is anymore there, because there is a significant difference compare, which is, let's say, the demand and the offer. Okay, if you saw the multiple today where other companies are listed and the money that we could pay. By the way, we never buy company because we want to buy EBITDA. Never. So we were never on this game. We believe that this game was very dangerous. Today, we saw that we are positioned in a market like a kind of natural consolidator. There are more and more talent that they like to come to work with us. And we split with them the value that we can create together, that it makes much more sense. We saw every day small company, but also medium company, they cannot survive anymore on the market. So that's for us, and it's a real opportunity for increase our market share, but also to create a new IP. So instead of spending money with their office, with their service and everything, they could spend their money in creativity. That's for us an opportunity, not only for us, also for some of our competitors. And I never saw so many talent deal like last year. Talent, they would like to have a safe home where they can keep their own independence, and they can also to work not just for one OTT or streamer or client, but they have the capability to work with all of them. That's something that is coming more and more. And on the other side, I should say that also the global streamers, they feel comfortable to work with a kind of natural consolidator like us, because they could have much more opportunity, a big range of opportunity for talent, and geographically speaking also to decentralize some stuff, hub, and this kind of thing. So I believe this is an opportunity for international producers like us in the coming year.
As we close out today's episode, here's a few things we're watching for. It's hard to believe, but earnings season is upon us. Netflix kicks it off as usual with its third quarter report on October 21st. Variety is going to be busy at 2 film festivals over the next 2 weeks. This week at the Middleburg Film Festival in Virginia, we will honor Wicked director John M. Chu with our Creative Collaborators Award. The following week at the Savannah Film Festival in Georgia, we'll unveil our 10 Artisans to Watch selections. Before we go, congrats to Mark Hamill. The Star Wars legend will receive the Gregory Peck Award at the San Diego Film Festival on October 16th. Thanks for listening. This episode was written and reported by me, Cynthia Littleton, with contributions from Leo Barraclough. Stick, snakes, hick, picks. Please leave us a review at the podcast platform of your choice, And please tune in tomorrow for another episode of Daily Variety. Adieu.